I guess the question about the Nasu 08, it seemed like, if I remember, George says, that the amended pretty much accepted it, but it was the unamended that overwhelmingly rejected it. Is that
So your question is regarding the North American Statement of Reconciliation, NASU effort. It appears that once it was put to a vote on the collegial level, that the Central Fellowship accepted it, and it was a viable basis from their perspective by virtue of an 80% vote, if I remember correctly, and that it was not accepted in the unamended community by an 80% negative collegial vote. There's two things that I would say about that. And that is, that's true. That's what I remember. That happened. It was extremely unfortunate. It turns out that when the shoe was on the other foot, it didn't fit, if you want to put it that way. So there's another thing to understand about that. And it's a little thing that my dad did with me before right after we came into the Central Fellowship. And while we were entering our part in Mid-Atlantic phase of the NASU effort. He put a map on the table and put push pins where all the unamended collegians were. He said, I want to show you something so you know. It turns out that maybe part of the answer to the question, not 40 answers. So there are 40 ecclesias in the unamended community consisting of around 1,600 people. I put a pin where all these ecclesias are so you can see the spread on the map. 10 of them have members up around 40 to 60. In Garfield's case, I think it was around 90 at the time. The other 30 ecclesias had fewer than 10 people. If you look at 40 ecclesias, 30 of them have fewer than 10 people because they're families that don't get along very well with other ecclesias or other people. And 10 of them, basically the preponderant, majority, possibly, or maybe the majority was contained in 30 ecclesias. I didn't do any numbers there, but the other 10 larger than 10. So what does that mean if you have a vote on an ecclesial level? Now how does that affect? We have no electorate when we make votes like that. As I remember, the votes weren't taken at a grassroots level of individuals. The vote was taken at an ecclesial level. Ecclesial level, if 80% of 40 ecclesias vote against, a large number of those ecclesias have fewer than 10 people, which gives the rule, I think, minority instead of majority. Now, I don't know how accurate all this is. I could be off a little in my estimations, but that's putting together something my father showed me with the results of that vote. So it didn't work. And it looks like it didn't work because brethren in the unamended community were unwilling. I'm going to explain to you in the next part why that is. And when I'm done explaining it, you'll understand. I understand that it's very, very difficult for central brethren to understand how such a thing could be. If, when, for example, we speak about reconciliation efforts, it appears that we're all for. Like in Norfolk, what do we represent? Were we all on our own? Or did we represent a pretty expansive view in the unamended community? How many more are there like us? I will show you very clearly and graphically in subsequent parts of this presentation. Anybody else? Go ahead. You have it. I'm all
wired. Okay, just speak up.
I wanted to follow up on your father. I know you that he was extraordinary. A lovely brother.
George, could you talk just up a little? Folks are having difficulty hearing.
George, why don't you come up here? I think it'd be beneficial if everybody hears. I can do this. I can get this off.
You're trying to get rid of that too fast.
I realize I had my shirt tail down. If my shirt tail wasn't down, I couldn't do this. There you go.
This was actually a very brief comment. Turned
been to a lot of them by now. I just want to say, I knew your father, and you realize that very well. Different Bible schools, meetings, and so forth, visiting with him. He was an extraordinary preacher. He always loved people. He cared about unity. He cared about brothers and sisters. And I think that was a great commendation for him. And I think it's important to repeat it. I know sons can talk about fathers very easily, but I'm not related, and I can say that too.
I guess we'll now pass it on. You mentioned that you had meetings with Washington, D.C., but what indication was there to the community that you had taken this position and were now going to be recognized as part of the broader central community? I know I'm prompting you. I think I know the answer, but I'd like to hear what you had to say with respect to this issue.
Well, I hope the answer that you know is the same as the answer that I did. We recognized the need for communication at the time. So one of the things that I did was I wrote an article called Principles of Reconciliation. It had 31 points in it, each drawn from a different place in Scripture. That was the basis of our decision to move into the Central Fellowship. In addition to that, we wrote a long and a short form of an explanation as to why we were doing this, and we sent that to all the unamended ecclesias in North America. We sent them a copy of why we were doing this, the short form, and we said, if you want to know more, we will send you the long form. We're not just saying, what we didn't want to do was overwhelm people. The long form was very, very clear. If any of you are interested in reading those documents, I would be pleased to do this. I would be pleased to send you a copy. In addition, on the central side of things, we recognized that there would be a need for people to understand exactly what we were doing and why. So we collaborated with brethren in the central community. Namely, brethren had a tremendous interest in unamended Christadelphians in Norfolk. They were James Mansfield, Des Manser, and John Knowles, and John Martin. They came to Richmond several times. They came to Norfolk several times. They took the Principles of Reconciliation, published them in the Lampstand. I also communicated with Michael Ashton and Harry Tennant extensively, so that I would kind of get a buy-in and a sign-off especially from Harry Tennant, because that for me was personal. I had just such a tremendous level of respect for Harry that I wanted to make this personal with him and me, at least understand how he felt about everything. So we had a round of letters that we did. We also, I think, published what we were doing in the magazines at the time, the Tidings, the Christadelphian, and in the Lampstand. And we made it known by going to Bible schools, by communicating that the documentation and the basis for our unity effort in Norfolk would be made available to anybody who asks, and still is, if they send us a note and request it.
One thing in particular, the Norfolk, the Petersburg, Virginia.
One thing in particular, the Petersburg ecclesia was also involved in commending you to the community.
Oh, they were the source of commendation.
They were the source of commendation, and they're the ones who published, so there's kind of a mutual recognition, so to speak.
Absolutely.
That you had done this, and then they recognized it, and that was published in the magazines, and it was a very explicit statement that they were commending you to the worldwide central community.
Yeah, let me give you the broad picture of the steps that we took. Our effort in Norfolk was spawned by a letter written to the unamended ecclesias in Virginia from Giordano, who gave three basic reasons as to why they were moving from the unamended community into the Central Fellowship. They accepted the BASF, they rejected Andrewism, and they accepted the fellowship practice of Central Christadelphians worldwide. When we read the letter, three of us independently, several of our members of our ecclesia actually, got the idea that it seemed simple enough to start considering ourselves. So our effort was already in play intrinsically, because we had listened to several brethren from Australia in efforts in Richmond, and they were very stimulating. We thought, how can we not be in fellowship with John Martin, for example? And so we invited them to Norfolk. We invited several other brothers to Norfolk. Then we recognized that Petersburg was a young fledgling ecclesia, had very few members. If we were to have a commendation from Petersburg alone, we felt that it would not be adequate to secure the foundation we wanted to have in Central Fellowship. So we went to Washington, did what we did there, which was not a given. And then after we had established our unity with Washington on the basis that I recounted a little while ago, we then made it formal through the ecclesia that was nearest to us, recognizing that it is the general practice of Christadelphians to be commended by the nearest ecclesia. The world basically establishes trust with a ratified or bona fide ecclesia. You want to put those terms on it. And then on the basis of that ecclesia's testimony and commendation, then some other ecclesia can be brought in. But on an ecclesial level, annexing to the Central Fellowship is without a lot of precedent. The two former attempts at such a thing prior to us were fraught with difficulties that we avoided by getting their advice before we did it as to how to avoid the difficulties, which we did. So when we were ready, we called the brethren in Petersburg. Two ABs met. We gave them a letter of assurance. We had a Q&A in a meeting, and it was already given because they knew what we were doing the whole time. And then they commended us. So commendation is a critical part of establishing trust with the Central Fellowship, but we didn't limit it to the commendation. We want to make sure brethren who everyone really respected in Central also gave their personal sign-off. So I got a commendation, a personal commendation from John Knowles representing the lampstand and its position. I got one from James Mansfield representing the ecclesia the brethren in the Enfield ecclesia, and also including Adelaide, all of Adelaide. I got a letter from Harry Tennant reading what we were doing, accepting it, and commending us personally from their perspective. And we also, I think, got one from Michael Ashton at the time that we were putting the announcement in Philadelphia. We spoke to many brethren, as many as we could possibly include, traveling to different ecclesias and being very open about what we were doing in both communities, Central and Unamended, more in Unamended, because at the time we were leaving Unamended and coming to Amended. But we also resolved, interestingly enough, we didn't want to take a party spirit, so we said we don't want to call ourselves Unamended, and we don't want to call ourselves Amended. We would prefer just to call ourselves Christadelphians, who are now in fellowship with Central Christadelphians worldwide, understanding Central to mean the original location of the Birmingham ecclesia in the center of Birmingham, rather than this is the Central core group. That's not what the word Central means. But we had, to this day, found it to be important to clarify that our identity is Christadelphians worldwide, and we would prefer not to be associated with one party or another. And I don't say party negatively, because we're supposed to, this. We're supposed to avoid party spirit, none of us like it. It's best to neutralize it with terms if you can, as long as everybody understands that neutralization. Does that answer your question?
Okay, well, we're at the end of our time, so we carry on the discussion very much, but we appreciate it. I think we did like a little rest right now. But we're going to have lunch. I'm going to call upon Brother Larry.